Zen master of the horse world, but Buck Brannaman is better known as the true-life horse whisperer. Into the world of Buck Brannaman and his amazing way with horses.
I don't know if I would have made it without horses. I don't know. I hate to think of it.
Everything you do with a horse is a dance.
Buck Brannaman has been called a sage on horseback, sharing his wisdom at horse training clinics across the country. About to work with a troubled mare.
The one fella, last time he caught her, he got kicked. Almost broke his leg. And she's just bothered. It's not personal.
Empathy will be needed today if he's to reach this horse.
It's in their nature when they're troubled to escape.
His approach is gentle. There's no attempt to break the animal. Gradually, trust develops.
There she kind of worked her mouth a little bit, and she said, I think that might work.
Before long, a breakthrough.
There. Now she's starting to kind of look me up a little bit here.
The whole process from this to this has taken Buck less than 15 minutes.
When you see this horse that was so afraid when you walked in and she can't leave your side right now.
You never get tired of seeing that, but you never get tired of that. A lot of times, rather than helping people with horse problems, I'm helping horses with people problems.
And for a lot of people, they want it all to be fuzzy and warm and cosmic, but it's no different with a horse than with a kid. You can't always be the kid's best friend. First, you have to be the parent for the horse to learn how to follow and feel. It's supposed to take that much. A little bit more. There. Left, right, left, right, left. It's a dance. I'd touch her here on the neck. I'd say, you find out this flag won't hurt you.
It just blew my mind that it could be done in a way that the horse would cooperate like the people and not be scarred up and afraid for life.
Nobody's here to hurt you.
A lot of times, rather than helping people with horse problems, I'm helping horses with people problems. This horse tells me quite a bit about you.
If you want to be great, you have to be a sensible person. That's why so many of the folks that are really good at this are, sometimes they're tortured souls.
Dad beat us unmercifully for not putting on a perfect performance. Horses are my life, and because of some of the things I'd been through as a kid, when something is scared for their life, I understand that. I truly know what it's like to be a small boy and be terrified of someone killing you. To live having to wrestle with that every day, wondering if you're going to live through the day or live through the night when you got home from school, that's a heck of a thing for a little guy to have to deal with. So because of that, I think it gave me quite an empathy for the horses. I don't like it when a horse is troubled. I don't like it when a person gets a horse in trouble and causes them, because maybe the person doesn't realize that to the horse it's life and death. To the human being that maybe doesn't have much experience, they don't realize it runs that deep. And I hate to see a horse in trouble, and they shouldn't have to be troubled to do what we'd like them to do. I often tell people that you possess the one thing that horses treasure more than anything in the world, and that's peace. You can give them some peace, you can give them comfort, and they'll always be willing to trade you some sort of movement in return for you giving them some peace. My dad had a violent temper. He was a terrifying person.
Buck says he was nearly broken by a father who subjected him and his brother to brutal beating.
Just to glance at him across the room might provoke him into coming and beating you up. Dad was a full-blown alcoholic and abusing us kids. The horses, when I first went to live with my foster parents, were my refuge. The sheriff there had been a kid in the same boat many years before that, and he took us out to this family that lived on the Madison River, had a ranch there. They were the place where people came to throw away their kids. But my foster dad always loved horses. We shared that together, and he was really the first man I ever really wanted to be like. And because he had horses and they raised horses, that was sort of my refuge. At that time in my life, the horses were my only friends that I had. And there was something that the horses gave me that there's no possible way a human being could have given me the same thing. There was an acceptance to the horse that if I gave them a fair shake, that they'd give me a fair shake too. And I learned so many life lessons. I guess at one point in my life I thought we were all out there trying to teach the horse something, and I suppose we are, but in return there's quite a bit we can learn from them as well. The horse lives in the moment, and that's what I learned from the horse, is I live in the moment. I don't live in the past. I've learned and I remember things from the past, but I don't live in the past. I live in the moment. And when I learned how to live in the moment, the past didn't matter. You can't look forward and backward at the same time. So I choose to look forward. One thing I started off with was an empathy for the horse. And then as my understanding grew with the horses, then I started to learn how to help them. A lot of times, rather than helping people with horse problems, I'm helping horses with people problems.
The whole process from this to this has taken Buck less than 15 minutes.
When you see this horse that was so afraid when you walked in and she can't leave your side right now.
You never get tired of seeing that. You never get tired of that.
Riding horses all my life, and I had never seen it done this way. It looks like mental telepathy of riding, like the horse is reading his thoughts, because he has established this language that's so beautiful and yet simplistic, and we can all do it.
Every movement you make on a horse, there is a perfect position of balance.
See how much I can get a horse to do without being troubled. That we're like two dance partners, and that's my goal. I care about how the horse feels about things. And I care that the horse is comfortable. Yet I still want him to work for a living. But he can enjoy what he does with me. What I try to do is be the mediator between the person and the horse. They don't really understand how the horse thinks or why he does what he does. And sometimes if their horse doesn't understand, the person takes it sort of personal, and the horse isn't trying to do the wrong thing, and they just need to learn how to set things up in a way that their idea becomes the horse's idea. And you have to think a lot like a horse, and that's just not something that just comes normally with people. What motivates me is seeing people get better with their horses, and a lot of times what they learn through the horses, they learn lessons that apply to life in general, and it helps them, outside of the arena, outside of the horse activity. We learn a lot of things about ourselves in working with the horses. So I never get tired of it, and I do it full-time year-round, and I've done it my whole life. I just feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. I feel sort of empty if I'm not doing it. And just remember everything I said, and you should be fine. There isn't one thing. The art of horsemanship is a vast amount of knowledge out there that you'll spend your whole life trying to become a horseman. And it's a journey your whole life. So it'd be nice if you could say there's one thing you need to know. Gosh, that would make my life simple. But there is one thing. There are multitudes of things to know. My friend used to say about the horse that the horse is multitudes of actions and reactions, separate and inseparable, all at the same time. A person doesn't have a passion for something they haven't even lived. For me, it's the horses, and the horses are an animal that gives so much back to you.